What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Cream Reviews, and on today's episode I am going to talk about some legendary creatures from the new Magic the Gathering set Marvel Superheroes to build commander decks around, featuring uncommon legendary creatures. So this will be an interesting discussion video. Let's get into it. The first uncommon legendary creature from the new Magic the Gathering Marvel Superhero set that I want to talk about is this one right here, Beast Erudite Aerialist. It is a 3 and a hybrid Simic mana for a 3/3 legendary mutant scientist hero. As long as you've put one or more +1/+1 counters on Beast this turn, he has flying, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So this is an interesting build around. It's not the most impressive commander at all. This could be like a fun bracket 2, maybe low bracket 3 deck, because you're not getting a lot for your 4-mana investment. You're just pretty much getting a vanilla 3/3 that if it hits, it'll draw you a card. You really want to play into the putting +1/+1 counter synergy on him to give him flying to make it easier for him to get through for combat damage. Ways you want to do this are when this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it, or you could use something that proliferates to put counters on him as well to give him the evasion that you need to get through, because a 3/3 certainly is not going to get through on many boards. I think at Commander, a good standard size for a creature is like 4/4. 4/4s in Commander are like 2/2s in regular 1-on-1. But Beast could be a fun build around. I know there's a couple enchantments from original Theros that when you attack, you put a +1/+1 counter on the attacking creature, and then you sacrifice them to do other stuff like draw cards and ramp. Those could be fun here. What you don't want to do with Beast is you don't want things that when a creature comes in, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, because you want him to either be attacking or you're getting ready to go to combat and you put a +1/+1 counter on him. And Simic has a lot of that stuff, so it shouldn't be too hard. I don't have a lot of example cards for this one, but one card from the Marvel Superhero set that I would love to include with Beast is Kid Loki. Each creature you control that you've put a +1/+1 counter on it has hexproof. And then whenever you draw your second card, put a +1/+1 counter on Kid Loki. So you're going to draw your second card if you hit with Beast, so that will make Kid Loki bigger. But the more important line of text on this is that first one. Each creature you control that you put a +1/+1 counter on has hexproof. So that'll help protect your Beast, especially when you're attacking with it, and you want to get through and you want to deal that combat damage. So I just wanted to highlight this card. I think Kid Loki is going in a couple of my decks. I have some +1/+1 counter decks that also draw second cards, so it's pretty synergistic with that. But as far as Beast goes, I think it could be a pretty good, like I said, bracket 2 or maybe low bracket 3 deck. I think it could do good stuff, so I might build this one. The second uncommon legendary creature from the set I want to talk about is Red Hawk. Red Hawk here is a 4 and 2 red, 6 mana legendary creature Gamma Berserker villain with reach and trample for a 6/7. It has the enrage ability, so whenever Red Hawk is dealt damage, put a +1/+1 counter on him, and when you do, he deals damage equal to the number of +1/+1 counters to any other target. So you can't just target himself and get infinite +1/+1 counters. That would be too broken. But what you can do with this is you can, again, with like Beast, you can stack counters on it and make it a real big attacker, and often you can win with commander damage with this. While that enrage ability, if you're dealing damage to Red Hawk before you attack, you may be able to deal enough damage to pick off blockers. And he's got trample, so I'm thinking this could be a very good commander damage based deck. I have some cards here that I would like to throw in the deck. First one is Marauding Raptor. First of all, great line of text for the first line. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So you're already making Red Hawk cheaper. He is a 6-mana commander, but we're not talking about super competitive brackets. We're talking about, you know, the casual bracket 2, bracket 3 style of commander, which is what I like to play personally. And then the second line of text is, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Marauding Raptor deals 2 damage to it, and if it's a dinosaur dealt damage this way, Marauding Raptor gets +2/+0 until end of turn. You'll almost never trigger that second part of that. You know, there is a couple dinosaurs in the deck, but for the most part, we're just trying to get stuff on the table that's going to deal damage to Red Hawk so we can stack counters and start dealing damage. So that's really the goal there. But oddly enough, you really just want to be doing 1 damage to Red Hawk at a time. So that makes cards like Ryle, which is, you know, the Enraged deck's best friend. It deals 1 damage to target creature you control, so you would deal 1 damage to your Red Hawk. That creature gains trample until end of turn, but he's already got trample, so we don't really need to worry about that. And then it cantrips you, it draws you a card. So Ryle, always good in these Enraged decks. I've built a few in my day, and Ryle has made every single one, so it definitely goes in. Then you want pingers, like Prodigal Pyromancer, that you tap it to deal 1 damage to any target. You can target your own stuff, Red Hawk, and it's just a nice repeatable way to be dealing an instance of 1 damage. So again, it's more effective to deal 1 damage to Red Hawk because every time he's dealt a damage, he's going to get another counter, and then he's going to deal that much damage. If you deal, you know, 6 to him, he's only going to get 1 counter, and then he's only going to deal 1 additional damage per thing. So it's best to just deal an instance of 1 damage. Just like cards like Dual Shot. It's an instant. Dual Shot deals 1 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures. So you can use this to ping your Red Hawk, and then if there's a 1/1 token laying around, or, you know, something with 1 toughness, or you've gone to combat and blocks have already happened and a creature only has 1 toughness left over, Dual Shot can clean it up. But that's really it. This is probably the deck out of this video that I'm most likely to build. I've already pulled a big stack of cards out, and this isn't the final build, of course, because, you know, I need to make cuts and everything and tune and test and do all that. But I really like this card. You know, it's a fun commander. I've built a bunch of Enraged decks in the past, and I happen to not have one right now, so I'm thinking about building Red Hawk. I might do it. And the third deck that I am considering building around legendary creatures at uncommon from the Marvel Superhero set is Sisay, Weatherlight Captain, and Jengotha the Wellspring as the companion. But you might be asking yourself, Cream, Sisay is a rare, first of all, and isn't from the Marvel Superhero set. So what are you even talking about? Well, this, of course, is a Fantastic Four deck. As you may or may not know, in the Marvel Superheroes main set, Wizards has put in a 4-piece infinite combo to win games. So pretty much you want to use Captain Sisay, who has the Wooburg ability to search your library for a legendary permanent with converted mana cost less than Captain Sisay's power, and put that card onto the battlefield and then shuffle. So you can modulate Sisay's power by just having different colors among legendary permanents you control, but you can also use pump spells and stuff like that. So Jengotha comes in, and you have to build this deck in a certain way because the companion restriction is no card in your starting deck has more than 1 of the same mana symbol in its mana cost. So that does restrict you a little bit. You can't have any double pips, but to tap it for Wooburg that can't pay generic costs, that is okay because you're just going to put 5 mana into Captain Sisay's ability, and then you're going to tutor up a member of the Fantastic Four that you still need. You know, lots of card draw in this deck, trying to draw your combo pieces. You know, you could add tutors, but if I build this, I'm probably not going to make it too sweaty. I'm just going to, you know, put in good old-fashioned card draw ways to double up Sisay's ability, like Echo, Perceptive Prodigy, is a 1/4 with Vigilance. Pay 1 and tap, copy target triggered or activated ability you control from a creature source. So that could include Captain Sisay. So instead of paying the 5 colors and searching for one of the combo pieces, the Fantastic Four, you can actually search for 2 at a time if you have Echo and an extra mana up, and that shouldn't be too hard to achieve. Echo is legendary, so you could potentially tutor it up with Captain Sisay, but yeah, that's pretty much the goal of this deck. It's probably going to be a hero tribal deck, so it's going to have lots of stuff like Avenger's Tower, and there's a bunch of good creatures from the hero precon that have single mana symbols. But yeah, that's pretty much my idea for the deck. I think it could be sweet. You know, it's probably one of those decks where if you manage to live in Magical Christmas Land and you assemble a combo and you win with it one time, you know, it may get stale after just the one. It's like a coalition victory win or something like that. But that's all I have for this video. If you've enjoyed, please hit the like button, subscribe to Cream Reviews for more content in the future. But until next time, this is Cream. I'll see you next time.